It's really changing my life and in so many profound ways. I just have this calmness that I have been looking for so long.
Hey, Anne, thanks so much for coming to spend some time with me again today.
Oh, it's really nice to be here. I've been looking forward to our second chat.
Me too. When I saw your name on my calendar, I was like, oh, yes. So I was really excited to hear from you.
It's awesome that you remember me. It really all the people that you talk to and that you know, and uh, that warms my heart.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a great conversation. So, what has been going on in your world?
Well, a lot since we last talked. I suppose I went through a spiritual crisis right after we talked. So the twine really does get to work on you, cleaning out the baggage that you didn't know you still had, and from a multidimensional perspective for me. Um, Being born under the sun sign of Pisces and the moon of Virgo and a rising of Sagittarius, I've got a jam-packed plate of energy, so to speak, to work through. And I think that has a lot to do with why I dove so deep into the issues of codependency and dependency and what that was bringing up for me in my relationship and how it affects my body. And I really got into telomeres, the shortening of the telomeres. And I really looked at myself and I was looking at why my body was giving me all of these signals of being incredibly exhausted and going into a stress and going into like a PTSD kind of reaction when I thought I had worked through everything. My body hadn't healed though. I might have consciously worked through everything, but being presented in the quantum energies of the experience again by another individual who I do care deeply about and who I do truly love, who came to me to teach me all this stuff. And most people would have just said, hit the road, Jack. but I my spirit kept me grounded in this process. And so that started, and it I became really sick, physically sick. I was working on this emotional stuff. I was being drained. I didn't have many reserves left, um, because of those telomeres that help keep our body rejuvenating. And so my resistance was really, really low. And I think the twine was what was waking me up to be able to move through this whole healing process and come out the other side. Um, I got really sick with a toothache. I had a baby tooth that I have carried around with me for 62 years, and it all of a sudden abscessed. Now, whether it was because I happened to go to Reno and I was there all day long, a place that typically isn't where I vibrate well at all. And I was in a casino. Maybe that played into it, going into those low frequencies and just everything being set up right for the tooth to go. So I got the tooth pulled out, and as the dentist, my holistic dentist, was taking the tooth out, she showed her attendant, oh, look, this is a parasite sac. This is what it looks like. And she's sucking away. And then she says, oh, I should probably show you what it looks like. And oh, there's one more. And I kid you not, I freaked out. I was like, because we have this aversion, we have this. And what I learned was the aversion that I was feeling is how these parasites have learned to evolve and be able to continue to live happily ever after inside our bodies, continuing to feed on our life force. So I learned a lot about parasites. I mean, I took the deep dive into parasites. I did the ivermectin. I did the hero's journey because I didn't know how to dose. There was no information out there. And then the universe provided me with some dosing information a few weeks later after I had almost probably killed myself. But I had parasites everywhere, absolutely everywhere. That's how weak my immune system was. And I passed them from every orifice you can imagine. And it is still somewhat of a struggle, not nearly like it was, but they control your thoughts. I learned about how they do that. They control your healing. So I learned why I was having such a hard time with my workouts and why I always felt like I was behind the 8 ball instead of in front of it. I mean, I'm like, I've always been physically active. I've been working out. I should not feel like this is the first workout I've had. Well, I learned that they start to, when they feed and they're so infested and so grounded and entrenched in your system, they're eating your life force when you sleep. So you're not healing anymore. You can't heal because they're feeding literally on your life force when you're sleeping. And then they're controlling your thoughts, and then they're creating actually an auric energy field where what I learned through all the papers and everything that I was finding and reading is that they change your auric vibration so that when you're with somebody that's also vibrating with parasites, you're kind of attracted to them, so you can continue to share the critters with each other. And then the other thing is that once you start to get better, they're repelled by you. So I learned a lot about why some people will like you and why some people will just go, oh my God, go away. A lot of it probably has to do with the fact that they've got parasites that want to make sure that they maintain their low vibration. So parasites are really key to keeping humanity in 3D. They cannot exist outside of a 3D, low vibration 4D paradigm. They require us to stay dumbed down and not reach for the light.
Oh, that's crazy. So let's backtrack a little bit. So one huge question is I want to tie in how you feel like the QT wave has helped you. But I also want to say that Dr. A has always said that our body will, like the vectors, which a parasite's a vector, that are in our body that aren't supposed to be there will be removed. Like they will want to find a way out. So what if what I'm feeling is that the abscess, the parasite sac in the baby tooth, that the QT wave trying to eliminate a vector is what created that, it's almost like a herxine, right? But it's not a herxine, but it's about getting out those vectors.
I think that's, yeah, that is part of it. That would be the trigger, is that the QT wave, and that was part of my thought process too, was signaling my body to say this isn't supposed to be here. And so this is the way to get her to wake up, to know that this is the start of a chain reaction of things to get rid of all of them. And I'm really looking forward to the V9 because he's talked about, and maybe my diary entries helped him because I went into all the gory detail in my diaries about what I was going through. And so that I think he's fixed he's worked on the program so that the neuro device will be able to help people move through it. I think the little black device wasn't very strong, and it even died kind of in the middle of the really acute phase, and I had to put it away in a drawer, and I was so hopeful I could get anyway, blah blah blah. But yeah, that little black device was working really really hard for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So long story short, I mean, getting them out of my head, getting them out of my, out of the thought process, getting really back into my spiritual practice. And then I went back to work. I've been working with the county in a program that they have for it's all the different disabilities that we've got. We've got the autistic kids, we've got the severely disabled kids, we've got the deaf and hard of hearing kids, we've got the emotionally disturbed kids, and then we've got the kids that are been expelled from the school district, and this is a place the county has created so the kids can go, and some of them are actually bouncing between juvenile hall and this charter school. But I go in there with my twine, and I've written about this in my diary too, and I notice a calming effect. I notice a calming effect in myself. And with the severely disabled kids and a couple of the county has the behavioral autistic kids. So they have the autistic kids that are deemed to have behavioral issues that the school district can't handle. They require a lot of one-on-one.
So they're more severe, higher on the spectrum.
But it's emotionally charged. So there's a lot of, it's hard to explain that they are triggered very easily. Mm. So I go in there with the twine and I just sit there. So they're nonverbal. Some of them are non-ambulatory. Many of the severely disabled kids are on feeding tubes. And for one reason or another, my heart, I am being exposed to the children that I've been wanting to work with. And Earth Angel Sanctuary was something that I really, really wanted to create. It was a dream I had, back in 2012. And it's still one of my dreams. I've written it up in my little binder. I'm going to take one of these days. And the universe and the twine have directed me in a way to start doing the work. What is it? Cynthia always says, boots on the ground. And there is no greater reward or healing than being around these kids. And I experienced the most profound healing moment with one of these little guys who is 3 or 4. He has a syndrome, and I don't know what it's called, but he pretty much has grand mal seizures 24/7. And it's nonverbal, non-ambulatory, on a feeding tube. His life exists in his chair or laying on the floor. And he has these big brown eyes and these beautiful eyelashes. So just an amazing being. And I got to sit there and just sit with him when he was having a quiet moment where he wasn't having problems with seizures. And he looked at me, and this is one of the gifts that the twine has helped me clear, is to communicate psychically with these kids, which was part of what Earth Angel Sanctuary is about. And I just sat there, and he looked into my eyes and he said, would you receive? Would you just receive? Can you stop? Can you stop and just receive? No. He blew my heart open. because he taught me to feel love again.
Wow.
Oh, I know, I know. And so, prayers go out to his mama, who is, I mean, these parents are just incredible. He's got a full-time nurse and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's a lot. I am in the middle of where we need to go. I am learning, intimately learning about these kids.
It sounds like you're in your training. I was just writing for God Spark Nation. I don't know if you've caught any of what we've done lately.
I'll have to go back and look. I'll go look.
I took it over about 6 weeks ago. And right now we're doing, it's all God Spark stuff. So vision, intention, action. I just was working on next week, which is going to be practice. And Anne, right now you are practicing, you're getting ready to be ready for your sanctuary.
Yeah.
So you are in that practice mode. You are the boots on the ground that Cynthia talks about. So bravo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really changing my life and so many profound ways. So I just got out of spending 4 weeks with them and for summer school. So I was really bouncing around to classes and I didn't get to choose where I went to go. And I learned so much just being able to substitute and got that surprise healing from this little guy who I don't know how long he'll be here. But the other thing is I went back to hot yoga.
Awesome.
Is huge for me. Is huge. I've missed it. I've missed my practice. I have not felt well enough to go back. I tried in 2021, and after a car accident I had about 5 years prior, I was still having a lot of issues with my neck, and I realize now that I was probably full of parasites in that injury. So I'm not getting the migraines like I was. I still have to be fairly mindful about my inversions and all of that stuff. That was why I had to stop yoga. The migraines were really intense. But I'm just excited to be back into my practice. I really miss my practice. And I'm very humbled right now because I'm just getting back into it again. And I'm like, I can't do that yet. But
That's okay. You're there, right? You're
there,
experiencing that healing that goes on in that room.
yeah, I am. I am doing something just for me. I am creating my sacred space, and I am there, and I'm probably back in that community again because there is something else regarding boots on the ground in that community. Because that community is a really cool community too that I have up here. I'm very blessed with the yoga community that I have access to. So other than that, it's just been peace, really learning how to be in peace and slow down and it's like, I've been doing practices for 26 years, and there's always the next layer, right? You're always peeling the onion only. And but now I'm putting glitter and diamonds around the onion instead of peeling away at it. And I just have this calmness that I have been looking for so long.
Wow, it sounds like you've stepped into your authentic self because now you're able to, after that massive clearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still have a few months to go. It's going to be a minute. but I think I can help other people understand how to feel better.
Do you want to come on WOW and talk about this so that other people can check out what's going on with them so they can see if they need to do something similar?
Oh, I'd love to. It'd be fun.
Cool.
It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Uh,
wrote a paper. I wrote a paper of all the supplements that I took, and I have little links and everything. I figured I could use it. There's a second book that I want to write. So I don't know if it's going to be part of that or not, but I think so. The world is changing so fast, and so I'm trying to be guided into how is this book going to look, and I think it's going to be pretty amazing. However, it winds up, but I do have a paper about the thing
nice.
that helped
If
me
you
on.
could send it to me, so I can review it. But
Yeah.
I also think it's really important because what you said you tried it on your own and it made you very, very sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a good thing for people to know is that you need to be directed appropriately so that you don't end up sick as well, you know?
Yeah, I learned that slower is better. Um, and I learned that that it just so happened that the packet I had didn't really have I was so sick when all of it started. I was so sick I couldn't even find how many milligrams was on the little package. And then when I found out how much it was the strongest dose that you can buy. And um, you only need 3 milligrams, and I had taken 12.
Over like 3 weeks, right? And then
Well, no. So what happened is that was only over 2 days. I took it. I have it all written down how many I had taken in my diary, but I think I took one. I took a half of one, and then I took a whole one, and then I took another half. And then 2 days later, the floodgates broke, and I was clearing out cysts from my bladder. And I think one of the other things is when you see pictures of them, you don't see them as being encased in blood. When you go online and you look at the pictures that they've got, they're not encased in blood. Well, when they come out of the body, they're encased in blood. So when they came out my bladder, it was really intense. It was
Wow.
really, yeah. That was the first place they cleared.
Wow. Yeah, I want to get you on WOW. I'll check out dates and I'll send you an email with some choices.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's good information for people to see. And then Dr. Gloria and you guys can riff on things and I'll join in on the conversation because I've done parasite cleanses for at least a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I definitely did the hero's journey as my spirit mama told me. But I needed to. It needed to be gone, and I was really sick. It was really important that I got my body's vibration back up where it belonged, and it took some work. And ivermectin, like this, is supposed to be one of the safest things to take. Um, but you need to be gentle with it. You need to respect. You need to really know what your limits are. And I didn't realize that it took a couple of days before it was going to actually work. So I know that too. So it takes a couple of days, but I'm still taking it. I'll take 3 milligrams twice a week, and once before the full moon for sure, because I can feel them. I know exactly where they're still at. And every month they're getting a little bit less.
do you also take it on the new moon? Because I heard that on the new moon is when they lay eggs.
Yeah, yeah. And I added methylene blue, which is very gentle. I
Okay.
have methylene blue. Yeah. That actually is really good for the bladder.
Uh,
Yeah. And it used to be a medicine that they gave women who were older with UTIs.
Mm.
It was the go-to thing for older women. And my bladder is better than I thought I was doomed to have, a bladder that wasn't going to behave because of my age. And it's it's healing. It's getting a lot better.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And you're incredible. I just love spending time with you. We need to make sure that we don't keep so much time in between.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm so excited for what's coming. I am just so jazzed.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I feel good. I feel really good. And I
Well,
know how to be.
and you know what?
I know how to stay healthy. I think that's the most important part. And I'm owning the energetic vibration of my world, which is what he's all about, right? Owning the energetic vibration of your world and your reality. And it's not a one and done. And it's not easy because there's always another frequency. It's like tuning a radio. It's like, well, you tune it and you think you've got the station. You remember, you'd be driving at night and you'd have an FM station, and you'd be driving on a long road trip and you would lose the station and you'd have to you know,
Find it again.
find it again. Yeah. It's
Find another one.
it's kind of what I've been doing. Is like, I have to keep remembering that this is about fine tuning the frequencies, and I've got to move through the smog of the frequency of the smog to get to back to where my goal has always been,
Yeah.
where our goal is, where we're all. And that's the other thing. I think the most exciting part about all of this has been the shift I've seen in the world. And
Ah,
started doing this, people are talking about parasites. And one of my prayers and my mantras was, um, let's see, my mantra is, I am well, I am happy, I am free from harm, I'm free of all parasites inside and out. We are well. We are free from harm. We are free of all parasites inside and out. All are well. All are happy. All are free from harm. All are free of all parasites inside. No, that's the four things I finally got it right at the end. But I just keep seeing that the world is waking up, and then I look around me and it's becoming more mainstream. I'm hearing more, just watching. I'm like, yes, yes. People are starting to wake up to time to do a cleanse, time to pay attention to parasites, time to realize that we're a mammal, time, the quality of our food. We've got to pay attention. And if our doctors, that's a whole other, damn it, the doctor story. Oh my God. I was accused of being a cocaine addict because my nose was so raw with the parasites coming out my nose by my doctor.
oh my gosh. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I haven't been to the doctor. I think when I quit my other full-time job in 2019, I went before I lost my insurance just to go have a physical for just because,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't been to a doctor since then.
I was concerned because I wanted to make sure I hadn't done any damage to my liver or my kidneys. So I just really wanted blood work done.
Mm.
And this doctor that they assigned me to, I don't like a lot, but he happens to be my boyfriend's blah blah. So yeah, everything was dead. They tested my urine, my blood, and the feces, and there were dead worms. And then I also learned is that if you were to say, oh, I'm complaining because I think I have a parasite infection, they're probably not going to see it unless they're dead.
Oh, they won't see the parasites unless they're dead.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
I know, because then they're leaving.
Yeah, otherwise they're glomming on, right?
Yeah, they're holding on for dear life wherever they're attached to. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow, that's so ugh, crazy. But you know what? I think everybody has parasites,
We
honestly.
all, I think we all do. Yeah, this is a lifelong thing. And the most important thing, the most important lesson for me is that people are going to be averted. They're going to avoid the topic because that is how the parasites have evolved. And so I have an understanding around that.
Yeah.
When
I did a hug video a long time ago about parasites. And actually, I did a video before I even came to QHS about parasites. And on PubMed, if you do a search for parasites, you're going to get A to Z, all these different conditions and all these different names of parasites. And then if you search up on PubMed, parasites and ivermectin, you're going to see all this stuff about cancer. No, cancer and ivermectin, which is a parasitic treating drug, which shows that cancer and ivermectin have a connection, right?
right.
Cancer and parasites. So it's pretty interesting when you actually go and dig out there.
Yeah, and I don't, you're a little bit younger than I am, but I remember, and I had to remind my mother, I think that she took me to the doctor and told my mom, when was the last time Anne had a dewormer? I mean, it's back in the 60s, they talked about it. Um, I remember there's a scene in the Christmas Story, that movie, The Christmas Story, where the mom comes into the kitchen and the dad's picking at the turkey and it's not cooked yet, and she says, "Don't eat the turkey, you're going to get worms." My grandmothers used to say that all the time, right? It was
The conversation.
part of the conversation. And it was part of the conversation that you might need to take some medicine to get rid of your worms. It wasn't just for the dog and the cat, it was for you too.
Mm-hmm. That's a good reminder. I'm not going to tell you what my memory is because it's a little too graphic, but I have a memory growing up of a similar conversation that was pretty terrifying as a child. And you just reminded me about that. So yeah, it was part of the conversation back
it
when I
was
was young.
it was part of it was a given. We were just um and I don't like to go down the really negative hole about, well, the reason why they're not talking about it is because it's big business not to.
Mm-hmm.
If they keep everybody sick, then they continue to make money, which just paints such a horrible dark picture that I just don't choose to go there anymore. But
Yeah.
the prevention is definitely, you've got to get rid of your worms.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, if you do it carefully, it's not difficult. And so, yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. And I hope more and more people are being aware of that. So,
And yeah, and I think the V9 is really going to help. One of the, if the V9 is as strong as it is, and I think, Dr. A has learned from maybe my diary and a few others, then it's going to be just fine. If it's a gentle, definite killing off, raising the body's frequency high enough so that everything can just happen organically without any of that, with all of the education that you guys are doing with the good diet and exercise and grounding, and those all everything plays together. And you and I know that, many people know that it all plays together.
yeah.
It's not a one and done. It's you've got to do the due diligence, and which is exciting. I like that part of it. That's about being human again,
Yeah, I like that. And
creative.
Gloria says, well, I said it, but she always makes me repeat it, that Hippocrates said, before you heal someone, make sure they're willing to give up what made them sick in the first place. You know,
Yeah.
and for me, it was sugar, and parasites feed on sugar. So I was very aware of the need to do parasite cleanses. And, the pumpkin seed thing, they hate pumpkin seeds for some reason.
Oh,
You know that,
really?
right?
I didn't know that part.
Oh yeah, so you put them on your salad because for some reason there's something in pumpkin seeds that they don't like. So
There's-
anyway, I could talk to you all day, my dear. So will you let's talk about you coming back on WOW or coming on WOW and talking about this. I need to run it by Cynthia to make sure she's cool with it. But I feel like this is really good information for the members to be aware
Oh,
of.
yeah, good. Ah. So thank you. I just love talking to you, and I love everybody. And I know I'm really quiet on the calls, but I'm there. I
It's
hang
here
out.
for you. Awesome. Well, thank you for spending some time with me and sharing your beautiful story. And I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Mwah.
Ann.
Thank you for making this QHS project fly. This valorous admin team, thank you. The Key community welcomes you. Thank you for making your home QHS healthy and happy. Thank you for helping us place QH centers all around the world. Together, hand in hand, we make miracles happen. QuantumHealingSystems.org. Thank you.